Here we go. Today we're going to be playing my favorite Mario. We're going to continue running through all the different Mario games. This one in particular is my personal favorite. Let me get everything set up a little better. But yeah, this one is my personal favorite. It's the one that I grew up on. My favorite growing up. Use the chair. I have one of those like egg chairs that I like to sit in my game because it's stupid comfortable, but it is very noisy every time I move around. You get a little crunching sound going on there. But yeah, I have one that's 100%. We are not going to 100%, but maybe at the end of this playthrough I'll pull it up so you guys can see some of the cool differences that occur whenever you 100% it. But we are gonna get started. So, this game takes place after Mario 3. They decide to go on a trip, which, as we'll find in later Mario games, is never a good thing. He never has a good time when he goes on a vacation. So, basically, Bowser stole Peach. This is I believe the last game that she's still called Toadstool. Maybe Mario Kart counts, but it's one of the last games where she's still called Toadstool. We're in this place called Dinosaur Land. So I'm just going to play through it like I've never played this game before. So we got the baby Yoshis up here up top. This is Yoshi's house. As you can see, not a lot of construction and emphasis on this. Nice fire though. So Yoshi's friends were also captured by Bowser. Interesting. Oh my gosh. So, for the first 3 games, we were actually using an N64 controller and using the D-pad on it. Yeah, his friends got caught too. But I was using an N64 controller with the D-pad. But for this one, we're actually going to use our traditional controller, the one that we've been using I've used for basically every other game that isn't Legend of Zelda. It's a Power A controller. It's pretty nice. So, I liked the 64 controller and using a traditional D-pad for the other games. And for this game, I would love to use it, but the issue is the routing for the controls is a little funky. Everything would be basically backwards because of the fact that you press B in this game to jump. It's one of the few games where you press B and then you press A to do a spinning jump. Which we'll do right here, which allows you to explode them and also allows you to break through blocks and such. And you actually press Y, and unfortunately there's no Y button on the N64 controller, so we're just gonna do that. We'll give Charge and Chuck a nice little kill. We'll just take 1 measly star for that one. So a long while ago, I actually practiced speedrunning this game. I wasn't the fastest when it came to speedrunning the original 64, or the NES version. But I actually got pretty good at the Game Boy Advance version, which we probably won't look at on this playthrough, because that's a lot of game for us to add the same thing over again, but with slightly different controls. Fastest, I'll have to double check, but I think it was like 12 minutes? It's the fastest that I beat this game. May have been a little slower or faster, but we'll definitely check that out whenever we get to New Super Mario Bros. Because then I'll be firing up the Wii U for the first time in about a year now. So I'll have to set that one up. The Wii U has some of my classic games on there. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to grab that, and then kill the guys there, but I decided to burn them instead. So this is Yoshi. He's our dude. If you want to get off Yoshi, you press A, you jump off. But usually you just hang out with our boy Yosh. And he can eat things, which is extremely useful. But this is the most useful one when you grab a... It's not the most useful, but you grab that. See that charge and chuck? Instead of having to hit him multiple times, boom. And one cool thing is if you have a Yoshi, and you find a Yoshi egg, you get a 1-up. Which should not be an issue in this game. We should not run out of 1-ups, and you shouldn't have any game overs or whatnot. Certainly not like the first 2 games. A lot of people say they prefer the 3rd game over Mario 3 over this one because the controls are a little bit different. And that's fair. This game is a little bit slippier, be the term, but I still like it. It's still my favorite, and it's the one I have the most nostalgia for. It's the one that I like just playing the most. So usually I don't like joysticks in games like this, but I'll be honest, it doesn't feel too bad using this specific control. I've been pretty happy with how it feels, even in a 2D space. Typically I like to use a traditional. We are so back. Absolutely, man. When are you gonna be... I gotta plug in. There we go. When are you gonna be streaming again? I'm ready for some more Pizza Planets. Yeah, man. I'm running, actually I've had this mic since 2021. It is a CK46. It's an Avatone, so it's kind of junk. But also, I mean, all I'm doing is talking while streaming, so... It sounds bad with singing, but it's actually not too bad of a spoken word. My plan eventually is actually to rip this capsule out and throw in a, it's micparts.com. They have a U47. Kind of has a cool vintagey tone, and it's the recommendation for upgrading this mic in particular. But I am not quite there yet to want to do that, because then I have to desolder it, and then I just have to deal with a lot of problems that could arise, and it works for what I use it for. Also, one of the fun things about these climbing sections, you get to do this bad boy. Flip Mario around. Granted, I've yet to find a... Oh, there you go. Are you still in KC, or have you gotten out of this place yet? Nice. I'm in KC for the time being. I'm still working as a professor. I'm just teaching remote classes, which honestly isn't the worst thing. Like, teaching asynchronous classes is pretty awesome, because I knock out everything I need to for the week, and then I can kind of just hang out and just grade as things come in. The demented Iggy Koopa. That's a pretty accurate statement. It's funny because if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to look that up, but in Mario 3, I believe Iggy's one of the last Koopas you fight. Let me do a quick little look up on that one. Alright, let's see real quick. Where... Oh, he's the fourth. So he's the fourth guy. Yeah, he's the fourth guy, and we did rescue a Yoshi egg. But yeah, he's the fourth dude we fight in the last game, but he's the first in this one. This section of the game is probably my favorite. So peep this. So this is the fun part. We have to be a little careful not to do exactly that. See, can we still have Yoshi? Oh, there it is. So this is the part of the game if you wanted to, like, roll. This is where the game breaks. Pretty hardcore when it comes to speed, in particular. But I love this section. So much so that we're going to leave Yosh for now. We'll pick him up later. I also just realized that, at one point I had this particular one memorized, but I have since forgotten it. But we're leaving Yoshi for this specific section, which is a whole lot of fun. It's our first attempt at flying in this game. So the cape handles a little differently from the raccoon suit. As a matter of fact, it, in a lot of ways, handles worse if you're talking about just floating. It doesn't float as well. But it's got this massive advantage of you can just absolutely take off. And that... There we go. Also, you can do that. You can body slam. Really, I'm short. But I appreciate Nintendo in the early 90s, when they were slightly less greedy. Still pretty greedy, but slightly less. But they were able to do things like tutorials where you can learn the mechanics of the game without it feeling like a tutorial. Because that's kind of my issue I've had with a lot of the Mario RPGs since about, I don't know, especially the Mario and Luigi games after, I would say, after Thousand Year Door for that and then Superstar Saga. Kind of the issue with a lot of the Mario RPGs is you spend the first, like, 5 hours of the game, all you're doing is learning the mechanics, and it's like, I got that. Right? They didn't make it very conducive to learning. Like, you just sit there, here's how you do that move, now repeat it. Okay, got it. I felt that way about Dream, I believe it was Dream Team. Fantastic game. It was so slow getting started. It was a slog when you'd first start because it just did not have... The tutorials felt like they were just tutorials. They weren't like an actual game. Nice. Cool. So that was about as badly as that could have gone. But we're still okay. So originally you're supposed to have a Yoshi and be able to grab that blue shell and fly. But that was a poor display. Let's see if we can do this. Well, good enough. World is also where the games get a lot harder to 100%, which is kind of part and parcel why we're not 100%ing, because in the previous games, we basically did 100%. I mean, we 100%ed 1. 2... I think we skipped maybe a course. And then in 3, we just didn't complete some of the courses just because there was no point to. But this game is where it gets a little complex if you want 100%. And we're not going to do that, because if we 100% every game, we're going to be doing this forever. And there's a few games that I still haven't 100% in Mario game-wise, like the Dr. Barden with the Goober. You know, new SpongeBob it's something. I don't know how I feel about it. It does kind of feel like they're just shooting for memes at this point, which sometimes they hit, I'll admit. Sometimes they're pretty successful, but the stories are a little crazy. It's also the cool thing about unlocking those green blocks is we can do that. Get feathers. Ooh, gosh, I don't even think I've seen the musical. I don't know, I don't even know if I watched the newest one. I watched Sponge Out of Water, I believe is one of them. And then when it comes to episodes, sometimes they pop up and I'll just like, I'll watch it. We'll see what happens. But I do love the sound font and the art style of this game in particular. It is fantastic. What I don't like in this game is these yellow moving platforms. They're fine in this level, but later levels, they get a little bit stressful. And truthfully, it's probably just my, me as a kid playing these games and it being very difficult, because it doesn't really cause me as many problems now. When I was a kid, I used to get very frustrated when we had those. I don't know, I'd say this is probably my favorite world in this game, in particular. Alright, let's do my favorite thing to do, which is we're going to unlock the secret world. So you may wonder, why is it that this level has a intro compared to other levels? And you only had seen that in Bowser's Castle. That's because to justify not having Yoshi in these worlds, because to be honest with you, Yoshi would be kind of difficult to integrate into these specific levels. They, well, there we go. They end up just putting a little intro, Yoshi can't go in there. So you hop off Yoshi and then you start. There are ways to glitch Yoshi into these levels, but we're not gonna do that. Now let's see how I do on this. I have gotten this perfect once, but we are not about to do that. If we would have gotten the star, it would have been perfect, but we did not. We did not get the star. Or the mushroom, I guess. We did get the star. We did not get the mushroom. But I love this area because it unlocks the top secret area. Which I love the top secret area because unlimited Josh and unlimited power-ups. Only downside is if you're near the bottom of the level, you have to go through the entire world to get there. As we'll see in World 6, World 6 sucks, and I'll probably have to do that. But there's another trick that I do in World 6 that kind of can act as the top secret area that doesn't require you to run over through this entire world. So fun thing about this level is how tricky it is the first time you play it. Because you look at that and you're like, ah, the arrow points this way. I need to go here. And then you're here and you're like, okay. And you have this fun little thing. Well, and then you mess it up. And then you're like, I'm back in the same point. So what you actually have to do is go here, pop this bad boy off, launch that, jump, go there, flip around, and then there's the plant. You can climb. But they give you with the nice little tease that, oh no, that's the way you go. But it's all in your head, Luigi. I also love how Mario beating the ghost house did severe landscaping work to the planet to now the water runs out to the ocean. I had a picture saved on my phone when I was in high school that was the Super Mario World style, but it was like the entire US planet. That was pretty cool. Errands? We do appreciate a good errand. So one thing I will say is Bowser, very nice. I'm glad I missed that entirely. Oh, nice. But I will say Bowser, his army, I don't know if maybe he has a little bit lower budget. It just doesn't seem impressive in comparison. That being said, he has way more real estate. Like, he has more castles. So I wonder if Bowser decided that automobiles, airships, you know, logistical equipment doesn't have the resale value, and just decided to focus more on his real estate holdings. Nice. There is a chance that I miss every single one of these. Okay, I got one. That's a little less embarrassing. So it's funny, if any of you watched the other streams, you saw my... Oh, I love this one too. The jumping. It's great because it just knocks people over. Whoa. Anyone else see that glitch? But if anyone else of you saw my other stream of this, you'll be like... You'll note how poorly I did in certain areas of the original 3 games. I'm hoping... I can't confirm this. I'm hoping we don't have any situations like that, because I am way more comfortable with this game. Nice. As I say as I do the stupidest thing I could have done. But we still got a feather, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm not worried too much about Yoshi either, because he's right here. So here's where you can rack up... There's a better area where we're going to rack up some serious lives, but you can rack up some decent lives here. Or not. We're just going to finish that. So this is my number one favorite area in the entire game. It's my number one favorite level. You know, we can watch Mario hop off Yoshi. Yoshi's just idling, man. He's got the burrs going on. But this is my favorite level in the entire game. I make a pretty healthy argument. It's my favorite 2D Mario level in general. I love this level. Maybe it's nostalgia speaking. But I don't know, something about it feels so epic. You're climbing up this massive tower. You got the thwomps, you got the epic music, the whole 9 yards. I just always love when I finally get to that point. You have that dry bones that likes to cause trouble. But this specific climb I think is awesome. I think especially considering the scale of this game, it really kind of showed the scope and scale. Because we had the airships, which, I mean, they were cool. But this is so much more intense. And then, you know, the way you pace it, it switches to the second part of this. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit scary with the all-brick background. Honestly, that's where I'm talking about, like, Bowser really invested in his real estate. It's aesthetics, you know? But I love how it switches to the second part of the song right around the time you get to this climb. So it's like... Now, do I think that they obviously timed that? So whenever you get to this part, or the second parts in most of these levels, you get the more intense part of the music? Probably. But I remember when I was a wee bab in high school, listening to a solo piano rendition of the song that was just fantastic. I have not been able to find it since. I'll have to do a little more digging to see maybe I'm missing somewhere. This gives ourselves another fire flower. But we went up this giant castle. 2 massive red doors, and that's you and Morton. Morton's actually not that bad. But I just love the ascent. You just climb this massive tower, and boom, you're there. Let's see. Thank you. Mario jumps a castle to the ground. So, does Bowser... Do you guys think Bowser is able to claim insurance off of that? But now we're headed to the Vanilla Dome. Which... I do be like the Vanilla Dome. Yeah, I wonder how you claim insurance on an Italian plumber destroying your property. I'm gonna say he claimed it under a domestic abuse file. I feel like Mario and Bowser have that kind of relationship. So this section is a lot of fun. So I don't dislike Vanilla Dome. I just don't like it as much as the main planes. Just don't like it as much. This section's kind of fun, though. Will I mess it up? Find out in a few minutes. Oh, nice. Yeah, I did. Okay, death counter. Run it up. Well, that was smart. We got one. Yeah, first death. Yeah, what happened with that is I got a little bit overzealous. And that's one thing about this specific area. Nice. Is, when you have the feather, it's great, except for that specific kind of area where you're going to be running and you want to be able to have precise jumps. That's the one thing I don't like about the feather. But the raccoon has the same issue, which is once you're running, it's kind of hard to just, like, jump. and just have a little more control. So I feel like Fire Flower, we got quite a bit more control, but this area is pretty easy. Nice. Burnt fish. So, when you're in water, you actually far prefer the flower, because the feather doesn't really do much against fish, but also, I truly don't believe Bowser. Those are not sentient. Those fish are not sentient. They don't know who they're working for. Do you think Bowser pays these cheap, or does he just kind of put them in there like a fish pond and just say it's good enough, probably? So we're going to be doing all of these coin blocks as we get them. The secret areas. Mostly, not because we're planning on 100%ing it, but just solely because, and I always do this, like me missing that me hitting that first cheap is standard operating procedure. I do it every single time. Also, I don't know what's going on outside, because I have heard a truck with a... Ooh, wow, we are not messing around with that. No thank you. I heard a truck with a Jake brake earlier, and then someone ripped by in a motorcycle. So there we go. Now all the, it shows red on there, but they're all pink. So the fun thing about the fish when they're out of water is you just kick them and they die. So that makes it a little bit easier. Oh, nice. So how do you think someone becomes a giant boo instead of just the regular boos? Anyone have any ideas? I've always wondered what distinguishes what makes something a giant versus a regular. Because not like the enemies are wildly different sized. Also, the orbs from Mario 3, I don't know if these are the same. But they're doing something. Ghost. Yeah, this is the spooky levels. But, like, the big boos are bigger than regular. Are those, like... I don't know, Hammer Bros, maybe? But then you'd think they just throw hammers. Oh, yeah. So if the green balloons hit you, they actually do damage. They act just like those little, like, mirror things. You remember those funky little mirror things that happened in Mario 3? They do exactly that. We're really good about not getting the middle, but getting every other one. Most consistently inconsistent. This area is fun, though. Funny enough, this area is the introduction to the name of one of our newest follower, Blarg. This is Blarg. He's a dragon that launches out of water to get you. Or out of lava. You know, Blarg was supposed to be in Mario 64, but you can actually get a prototype of him to work in Lethal Lava Land, but they never kept him in the game. It's kind of a shame, because I think Blarg is one of the more fun characters in Mario. We are not going down this pipe, because I don't want to deal with the ice level. I hate it. Also, this is the funniest dude. He throws a shell, and then kills himself, and the shell just spins forever. This course is fun because you boing, which, big fan of boinging in Mario games. But also, you constantly get attacked by William Boulets, our favorite French bullet. Nice. I should probably refrain from doing that. There we go. Nice. We're actually going to go use our top secret area, because to be frank, Castle 3 with no power-ups, of course doable. Any level is doable without power-ups. It's just a lot less fun. And we unlocked this area for the very specific reason of making our lives a little bit easier. So we're going to do it. We'll see if I remember which combination is the right one. Here we go. It is. I really love this game. This game just feels good. Oh yeah, and the graphics are fantastic. Music's great. I love everything about this game. Plus we get Yoshi, which is just a nice touch. Oh, Kamek. There we go. Knock out Kamek real quick. And then I did that again. Kamek is a little tricky. But this section is just a lot of lava. Nice. Alright, death counter time. Oh no! Oh, I forgot to hit the... That's fine. Yeah, 2. This castle gave me so many fits when I was a kid. I struggled so badly to beat this specific castle. This castle requires a lot of patience, which didn't necessarily have a lot of it when I was a kid. I just wanted to run. And you can run this castle pretty fast, but the chance of making a mistake is far greater than what you would like. Give ourselves a little bit of a life there. See, this section is where having a flower would be huge, because these dry bones, you just mash Y and you knock them all out. Let's take on, I believe this is Wendy. Could be mistaken. No, it's not. It's not Wendy. Nice. So there we go. World 3 is now complete. We sure have found the red and green switches. That sure does help. Yeah, it's Lemmy. Lemmy is named after Lemmy Kilmister of Motorhead. For any music aficionados here. Now we're on the Cheese Bridge. Now, call me a skeptic. That bridge doesn't really look like cheese. Oh, cheese is great. It doesn't, to me it doesn't look too much like cheese, and I wish I could have grabbed that feather, but... Also, chainsaws? You know, had a few chainsaws in my days. I've never had a chainsaw run on a wire, though, to chase an Italian plumber in a literal dinosaur. But this is gonna be fun. This is where it's fun, where we don't have to do as much balloning. You can just... We have a flying Yoshi, and he's like a bluish, purplish indigo color. Big fan of flying Josh. And we're not getting all those. Not worth the chance of losing our blue Josh, or purple Josh, or whatever color you want to call him. And we still lost him. Nice. Well, that sucks. Whoa! That's right, we're gonna have a fun time with these Monty moles. Hate them. So these sumo guys stomp and shoot down lightning bolts that start a wave of fire. That's all I have to say about that. Let's see. Does that give us any... Oh no! No, this does nothing good for us. Do not like the porcupine fish. Now, if I remember correctly, there's something good up here. Oh, there's that. That helps. Nice. Oh, there it is. Oh boy. Nice. So the cheese area is really weird, like the cheese bridge. Because we've beaten 2 courses. And we're already to Bowser. Part of what makes this area kind of weird is just the fact that it splits into 2. So we'll go back and check it out, but that red area, that area has a totally different path if you go up the red blocks in particular. But because of that, most of that world is part of a hidden area. You can actually skip Vanilla Dome entirely and just go straight to World 4. But I've never found it to be really much faster than just running through it because of how short Area 4 is. We are facing to fight Ludwig von Beethoven. Or Ludwig von Koopa, which is obviously named after Beethoven. I do appreciate that they timed the average time it would take for you to cross these levels to the music so it actually matches up when you get to these vertical ascent areas or these cool other parts that actually like matches musically. Let's take on Koopa Boy. So, one thing you'll find is that every boss battle is virtually, like, there's two. So there's 7 Koopalings. Every one of them, there's a copy. So there's, like we did, Iggy. Well, the last boss is going to be the same. And then we're going to run into that with all of the other bosses. The one exception is Ludwig. He's the only one that has this fight. We will see those other boss battles again, but yeah, he's the only one that has this cool where he kind of runs after you like this, and then you attack him once he's shooting his flames. So this is a fun one. This is a fun way that they destroy the castle. So they launch it and fly into a mountain with eyes, or I guess a hill with eyes. The puzzles of this perplexing forest. Fun little fact, my first memory as a human is me playing this level Christmas 1998, which I was only about 2 years and a couple months old. But I actually remember playing this level as a baby, basically. And maybe that's why this game sticks with me so much, because it's my actual first memory. But I just remember playing this level in particular and had Domino's Pizza. And I'm assuming it was Christmas time, just because it was right around that. And everyone was in town. So this is the section I was talking about earlier when I was telling you guys that there's a section where you can get just a ton of lives. Yeah, this is that section. You can just get... like, we got like 25 lives right there. Yeah, the bacteria, the sea urchins. They are, they're tough. This level, I feel, is the level where the game is really pushing its hardest. Because it has constant slowdowns. And a lot of frame rate issues that don't happen at any other point in this game. Yeah, those are sea urchins. They're spiky. Let me bounce on one for you. Let's see what I mean? Like, there's a lot of frame rate issues in this specific level that don't occur at any other point in the game. Those sea urchins really suck a lot of memory. Fish in general do in this game. There it is. Here we go, another secret. Nice. Let's do that in a different order, but that's fine. We're just gonna pretend that's fine. Well, that's okay. We don't need all those. Oh, I hate this guy so much. Alright. Another one for the death counter. Yeah, three deaths. Nice. Oh, wow. That's another one. Death count is to 4, currently. 2 of which have come from this one course, unfortunately. I've always had a heck of a time. This course has always been one of my least favorites in the game. Just, water courses in general aren't usually a lot of fun. But this one has so many... Yeah, 50% of deaths have come at one course. Which is, But I've always had a... somewhat of a dislike for this level. Just, it doesn't feel as good as some of the other earlier and later levels. And the constant slowdowns kind of drive me a little crazy. And then these Rip Van Winkles. I'm so glad I got the Firefly, because they take care of those guys real quick. These guys that like to sleep until you get close to them, and then they wake up. Also, Charge and Chuck, they literally spawn them in there to drown. Look at all these guys. Paid analysis. Yeah, sample size of 4. And half being there. Alright. Forest of Illusion 3. Statistically significant. Yeah. I was talking about how my first actual memory as a human being is specifically this course, actually. But this area, this world is like my first, like, memory as a human being was playing this course at the house in Waynedale. I'm assuming it was around Christmas time, just because I remember it was cold out. Like when the human brain gains consciousness, it's just like, oh yeah, I exist. I'm not a gormless blob. Yeah, no, this game is what I actually woke up to when because I specifically remember playing this game. I'm gonna guess it was Christmas time. I also remember Lion King 2, so I was assuming that'd be 1998. I could be wrong. That could be 99. But I don't remember when each Lion King... It could have been Lion King 1. I don't remember some of the specifics, but... No, it would have been. It couldn't have been 99 because we weren't in Waynedale in 99. That was. Yes, I woke up to the course that drives me crazy to this day. Nice. So one fun thing you can do with Yoshi, one of my favorite things, is you do this, and then you can actually break blocks with Yoshi. You're not supposed to do that, but if you start spinning, then land on him, I'm not a programmer, so I don't know why it does that, but. It reads Josh as Mario spinning. Also, I hate those. I hate those fire flames. They are somewhat RNG based. They kind of, I mean, they have a path that they go, but depending on where you're standing, they can kind of change when they get to you. And sometimes you just get stuck in a position like that where you just can't move. You're just gonna get hit by them. But good thing is, section's not too bad. You can, at least once you get past these guys. Ooh. So what you'll find is this is just like Morton, except for every time you hit him, the walls cave in a little bit. But luckily with the walls caving in, you can actually kind of stand next to the wall and just kind of hop forward. So I actually found it a little bit easier than Morton, just because you can get it to where, like we did just there, he never can even touch you. I can't even get close to you. So that's what I love to do with that one. Explosive Mayro. Yeah, I'm beating up children in this game. Unfortunately, Mario, grown adult, beats children. It's all in your head, Luigi. The dangerous but tasty. Chocolate Island. Not bad. Then we finally... I love we've been on Dinosaur Island, the only dinosaur we've seen is Yoshi. Now we actually get Dino Dudes. And they're, funny enough, not as dangerous when they're big as they are when they're small. Don't you do that, considering they shoot flames. So there's a chance we might have to do something awful to Yoshi, and I apologize preemptively. I stand corrected, we're fine. Sometimes, alright, get some good old rest there. But yeah, sometimes if you don't have the cape, you kind of have to just sayonara to Yoshi, but luckily we didn't have to do that. I love the idea that all those Lakitus that we hunted in the first two games, first three games, are now haunting us in this game. Oh, just touch the blue flame, dude. Oh yeah, no, they suck. These levels are a pain. Come on. Luckily this one, once you get past the first part, that's the tricky part. This isn't too bad. Come on. Oh, you kidding me. Nice. There we go. Alright, let's see. Can we actually get a perfect run this time? We've gotten perfect, but just the wrong one. Well, we didn't even get perfect, so we got 2 1-ups, so we'll take that. This level's a fun one because it changes the level depending on how fast you go. Usually I try and go fast, but to be honest with you, I kind of want to play the game a little bit more, so I'm not going to go as fast as I usually go. So we'll see how well I did. What can I tell us? Oh! Don't like this one. Oh, did we really get the fastest one? Guess we did. Maybe? We did. This technically skips most of the world, so we're gonna save that in our back pocket. But yeah, I kind of wanted to go slower. The slower one allows you to, see a little more of the level. A little more of the world. I say that now until I'm fighting Reznor, and I'm getting infuriated because Reznor can be such a pain to deal with. But we'll go a little slower. We'll jump just a couple times on each one of these to kind of slow ourselves down. There we go. That helps. Alright, did we slow ourselves down enough to get one of the other endings? We sure did. This area is a fun one, because you would look at that and you would go, hey, I should just jump up there, finish the level. But the correct way to actually beat this level is to do this right here. Which nets you 3 more 1-ups, and allows you to actually progress in the game. Because if you go to the other one, you just keep going up, it just creates a loop. And now we get to probably my least favorite level. This and Wendy's Castle I will admit, not the biggest fans. But we have done things to make these a little easier. Like unlocking all the switches. But then there's stuff like that. Nice. Nice. Alright, let's see how we do against Trent Reznor. Kind of issue I run in with Reznor sometimes is specifically this. That specifically happens quite often when you fight Reznor. Kind of that specific thing where... I mean, what exactly are you supposed to do in that situation? Also, terrible play on my part right there. That's okay. Well, not too bad. I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick, and I will be back to keep cooking through World 6. We're back. Which is funny, you know, as annoying. Down with NIN. Nin. 9-inch nails, yeah. I don't know why I didn't read the first read this. Nin. Oh, you mean like Nintendo? No, 9-inch nails. I do like some 9-inch nails. Not a ton. Not as big on their industrial rock stuff as I probably should be. But I do find a good amount of their stuff pretty good. Yeah, I'd put 9 Inch Nails under the... They're good. They're fine. Not my usual go-to, but sometimes I'll pop them on just to give a little listen. Something a little different. But we talked about this top secret area. This is the area that I use for my top secret area once I've gotten past... Well, once I've gotten to it. Because as you can see, there's a lot of stuff here. You do this, tons of coins, tons of power-ups. You're able to actually, like, build up a lot of stuff, get a ton of items, and a lot of times you can get lives pretty quickly here. The only part that stinks about this is you gotta do this platforming, but whenever you're doing just item collection, you just hit the pause button, and you just let her go. Alright, will we actually do a perfect one this time? Oh, added to the last 3. I don't know if I was too fast or too slow, but knocked the timing off on the bottom 3. Speaking of places I also hate, this one's tough. Wendy's Castle's probably my least favorite out of the 7 castles. Not counting Bowser, which I actually like Bowser's Castle, so I guess counting Bowser's Castle. Because of that right there. Wow. Good start. But you get, the reason I love this area is you get immediate 1-up, throw that, collect just a ton of coins, get your power up, get over here, grab that, even more coins, build up all those coins, you take damage with Yoshi, you accidentally free all those, and you just hit minus, and boom. Now we're fully loaded. Not entirely, but pretty close. And back on our way to fight, try and take on Wendy. You also have these spinny dudes I'm not the biggest fan of. But hey, they do the... I like this section here. I don't like this section. But I'm convinced that that castle is going to be the most of our deaths in this run is going to come from that one castle, because it is... It's tough. Just a tough castle. Some of those sections are just... They're obviously doable, and we'll get through them, but they can just be a little bit... Maybe just a little trickier than we'd like. It's funny, the second half of this area, not as bad. But the first half is just brutal. Alright, we're just gonna run through this. That's fine. Whoa. There we go. Once you get through the first half, again, this section, not the best, but quite a bit more manageable. It's just slow-moving electric orbs. We can deal with electric orbs quite a bit better than dealing with giant spikes. Nice. Alright, and then Wendy is kind of tricky. You gotta be patient with this battle, which I sometimes struggle with, because they're going to move the same way. So I just have to know that sometimes you're just not going to be in the right place to hit Wendy, because the flames are, I mean, they move slightly, but not much. But not bad. Alright, no worries. I'm probably going to get through this game, to be honest with you. I only have one world left, so might as well cook right through it. This section is also one of my least favorites in the game, to be totally honest with you. Like, I understand there's a pattern, they switch between two different paths. I just hate it. It's one of those, like, I understand what I gotta do, I just don't like doing it. Woo! There we go. Now we're to the Valley of Bowser. We're actually, I'm gonna go back and load up on our items again. We're only one world away from beating this game, so we make pretty fantastic progress. Considering I spent longer on the first and second game, and the third game, than I have this one. No, head this way. Come on. Come on, Chuck. There we go. Cool thing is you can eat these big old Monty moles. Nice. Forgot about that little detail there. Now we'll go reload with items, especially this early on. How close it is. Alright, so if any of you remember me talking about how I hated those yellow moving blocks, this is the reason, this specific area. Now, with Yoshi, we could technically skip this area, but the issue that we would run into with that is, we'd then have to do it again, because that would just take us to a secret world, which does skip part of the last world. So if we wanted to do any skips, we'd just take secret world, do the Boo House, and then you end up right at the end. But that's also another issue that we just ran into with Yoshi. He's a little thick, and he can be a little unwieldy, one might even say, when trying to do this specific area. It's a little bit big. So usually you'd hit this, fly with Yoshi, but to do the game the way that I'd like to, it'd be very difficult. But yeah, Yoshi's just a little bit thick to fit some of these runs that you gotta do. Alright, sweet. So we got that one done. That's always been a tricky one for me. It's also really quite slow. Nice. Well, I've never quite understood why they give the Fire Flower to Mario in the Ghost World, considering they don't... The Fire Flower does no damage to the Ghost. I feel like the Feather would have been better because it helps with maneuverability. I gotta remember how deep we go into this one. Is it this one? Nice. I just remember it wasn't all the way at the end. Watch it not be the path and I just loop around. But no, it's the path. Move the space-time. Alright, let's see. Are we gonna get this one perfect this time? We did that perfectly as terrible as we could have done it. Oof. Hurts dropping Yoshi into the lava like that. Alright, World 7 is done. Mario's got the grown man strength to be able to lift a literal castle and punt it. Now it's time to take on the big man himself, right in the front door against Bowser. We're gonna see. There's a path that I normally like to take. Let's see if I remember which one it is. Oh, this is... Typically, I like this one. So with this one, there's 4 doors. Well, there's 8 doors total, but you gotta go through the first 4 and then one of the next 4. If I'm not mistaken, 6 is the other one I like. It is not. Actually, 6 is quite the opposite of the one that I like. 6 is actually my least favorite one. But no matter. Nice. Yeah, 6 is actually like my least favorite one, but I couldn't remember if it was 5 or 6, because they do kind of blend in after a while. Nice. Yeah, we might have to redo this, because, yeah, 6 is brutal. Oh yeah. The milk has been acquired. Well, you showed up at the nick of time, Matt, because we're actually at Bowser's Castle. So, I just gotta reamp a few things on this end, because I took the wrong path. I took my actual least favorite route. So... So you're not supposed to land on that P-switch. That's not your preferred method, but, you know. Alright. Oh boy. Supposed to do exactly that. Just take Josh. I wonder if it is 5, the path that I normally take. So I usually take 2, because it's just crawling, right? Easiest part. Then, I'm gonna try 5. One of them is just a sprint. Alright, let's take him out. See how easy this one is? You just dodge a couple flames and just crawl. None of them are even on your side. It's as easy as it gets. Then 5 is what I think it is. Which is probably not... Oh, it is. Okay. This one's a little tricky. You gotta kind of time it right. And I absolutely did not time it right. If I timed it enough to where I'll be good to go, I should just wait a little bit longer. But I've always found Bowser's Castle to be pretty awesome. And of course you have this dark section, you got the Mecha Koopas, which... Great introduction to them, considering you need them for the boss battle. But just having the Mecha Koopas for you to, like, toss around and get some practice with. This is another part of the game where there's some frame rate issues, but not as bad. But fun part is no power-ups, so now it's time for the big man himself. And there we have it. Bowser has been defeated. So there it is. That is Super Mario World. Still my favorite 2D Mario game by a pretty healthy margin. Love the name, the Amazing Flying Hammer Brother. Super Koopas, love them. Jumping Piranha Plants, Volcanoes, those are good. Sumo Brothers are... I'm not a huge Monty Mole guy. Like William Boulez. The Bonsai Bill goes hard. Koopas. Seen those guys before. Spike Top Swoopers. Blarg. Shout out to the Blargs, man. Blurps. Rip Van Fish. Not a big fan of the guy. And we actually didn't see any Torpedo Teds. We didn't play the... There's one level that has Torpedo Ted. But we didn't do it. So... Erie's always drive me crazy, because they're, always just making it difficult for you to jump. So what are y'all thinking? You think I should try and, knock out Super Mario Land? Only about 12 levels, I believe. Pretty straightforward game. It kind of handles like garbage. It's one of those that I want to just knock out. Our boy Resner. I want to just knock it out of the way because it just... I don't like it. It's fine. For what it is, it was a technological marvel, but nowadays it just plays like garbage. And then there's all the Coopers. Morton, Lemmy, Iggy, Ludwig, Larry. Stop that. And that, my friends, is Super Mario World.